Appreciate everyone joining, and yeah, it's great to have you here. Hopefully there'll be a few more joining us, but we'll start nonetheless. Just to let you know, we'll be recording this for everyone. So if you want to have access to this later on, or for those who weren't able to join, just to let you know in advance. So I'll be hitting the record button just about now. So let me know if that's not okay.
Okay, that is fine.
Awesome. Great. So thank you for joining. I'm Julian. I'm a partnerships manager here in Cloudvisor. We're an advanced tier partner with AWS and an official reseller. And we have other members of the Cloudvisor team joining us. So we have Valentin, who's our senior CSM. He's dealing directly with post-sales interactions. So when customers AWS users decide to join us, he's working with them actively to see how they can scale and grow on AWS and how they can grow effectively. Then I have my colleague Robertas. He's a partnership/sales manager and doing a phenomenal job with our engineering sales. And so he's really a part of this as well in showing people what it means to join Cloudvisor and how they can benefit from joining us as a partner. And of course, detailing the importance of using AWS effectively. And then we finally, not least, have Noor. He's our wonderful senior cloud engineer with a phenomenal amount of expertise on AWS. He's with us to help answer some of those deeper questions that we have that I thankfully have seen submitted. And to be very honest with you, this can be an interactive session as well. If you have any questions, of course, we'll have a time at the end where we'll discuss questions and go through that. But it will also be great, if you want to interject and ask something, don't hesitate to do so. No one wants to listen to a monologue for 15, 20 minutes. So don't hesitate to put your hand up and ask if you have any questions. So just a brief agenda. First, we'll go through how to set up on AWS. I know that there's a variety of people here that maybe you're really well-versed on AWS. You've set things up, and from the questions we saw, it seems that you know what you're talking about. But there are others here that maybe are kind of in those first few steps. And so we're here to just help provide some of that small guidance when it comes to that on helping you get set up on a very basic level. And then we'll detail on how we can help as a partner. So what we actually do, what it means to be a part of our resale program, and how we can help you scale on AWS and grow on it. And then finally, of course, as I mentioned, the submitted questions and any other last minute questions that haven't been submitted will hopefully answer. If that's all clear, we'll get on to how to get set up on AWS. So the first major step, of course, is creating an account, which goes without saying. And there's a couple of really important prerequisites. And one of them is creating a root user email address. This is keep it unique. We want to make sure that you're understanding that this is an email that shouldn't be used for other purposes. It should really be used only for this purpose to create the root user access. We don't want it exposed, because once it's exposed, then you're opening up yourself to being hacked. Of course, other prerequisites in creating an account is an account name, an address, phone number, and of course adding a payment method. And you'll need to choose a support plan. Just to be very clear, it's important that this information is consistent and has continuity. For example, the account name should have similar domains. The email address should have similar domains, because that may impact a credit application later. So an AWS Activate credit application, that's one of the important things that they look at when there's an application live. Of course, you can do this on AWS. You can sign up for free. The most important next step is actually choosing a support plan. So there's a basic support plan, No technical support is provided by AWS, aside from billing support. But with Cloudvisor, we recommend that you choose the developer plan, especially when you're ready to go into production. And this means when you're ready to start using AWS and building on it, and for your infrastructure to go live. The cost is $29 a month for that support plan, or at least 3% of your monthly spend, whatever is higher. The key difference between the different support plans, which I've just outlaid here, so you have developer, business, enterprise, on-ramp, and support, is the response times. That's one of the key differences. There's a lot of other differences which I haven't included there, but the response times is a real key difference. And then we work with over 2,000 AWS users, and sometimes we notice that they're not always following the best practices. And one of the key parts of setting up an AWS account is actually activating multi-factor authentication, or MFA. This is really crucial. So it protects that root user email access. So if it's hacked, you lose full access. We don't want that to happen. And so it's a real must that you create MFA on AWS through the root user email access. As I mentioned, the root user should only be used for the initial setup. So billing and account recovery is the only things that should be dealt with. Any other AWS daily operational tasks or deployments should be utilized by what we call IAM users, or at least IAM users with admin credentials. And so that's the next step, is you want to make sure that you've created the root user email access, and then through that you create additional admins in your AWS account, so that you're able to kind of silo and segment those two accesses. And so just very briefly, creating an IAM user with admin credentials, you go into your AWS account through the root user email access, you add the username, and you select the access. And you can do this with multiple users with lesser admin access. So it doesn't have to all be the same level of access. And then the next step is you want to choose the plans. Now there's the free tier. So if you're new to AWS, you don't necessarily know how specific services work, or maybe you want to test them out, you have the free tier option. And so when you sign up for free with AWS, they give you $200 in free tier credits, so you can spend away, and you can gain access to up to 30 services for free, totally for free. But the usage and the capacity is very minimal. It's only really for testing. Maybe you could say it's a proof of concept kind of situation, and you can basically utilize awesome AWS services totally for free, EC2, S3, RDS, some of the standard services, and it's it's not costing you anything. But once you actually really start to use them, then you would need to move into the paid plan, and of course this is pay as you go, and you are charged according to your usage. I've been talking for some time, so I'm just curious if there are any ad hoc or questions floating around. I'm not sure if there's any hands that have been raised. Let me just check the chat. I see that Dennis has shared some questions. Maybe Vali, you could just jump in with some of those questions.
Yeah, sure. I can see that Denzel is asking about the email address and all the details that need to be kept, in line, shall we call it? And you are asking Denzel about some extra credits as well. So yeah, I don't know if I should jump in now. So basically, we are kind of changing the agenda a bit, but yeah, I will answer without a problem. The first step for newcomers on AWS is to access the Activate credits. All right, so that's $1,000 of credits that AWS provides. So you can easily apply for them credits as soon as you join AWS. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for that. Sorry
No
for
problem.
interrupting. Now, in relation to qualifying for such a credit up to about $1,000, I believe that AWS has certain kind of prerequisites that they expect from a person like me who just has begun something. How long this process will take to look into a project that I have and to say, okay, we can give some credits. What is the process look like, and what is the duration of the timeline?
Denzel, I will be completely honest with you. I didn't quite catch everything you were saying, so I don't know if you can just summarize. I've heard something about a timeline, so just let me know if I heard it right or not, please. Denzel?
I typed in the chat.
Right, gotcha. What is the process to qualify for $1,000? My colleague Julian just put on the screen now the requirements.
Yes.
You will see the Activate founders. That's the first step, as I was saying earlier. And the main conditions are that the company, the entity, should be less than 10 years old. Obviously, not to be received any AWS credits before. You need to be self-funded, okay, and have a public functioning website. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, going back to the first question that you raised, all the details about your company domain, your email address and stuff, they should all align. They should all be the same, shall we say?
Okay, understand.
Thanks, Vali, for answering that. Yeah, just to of course clarify with the founders or Activate credit founders, the next major steps, of course, after creating an account is seeing how you can apply for that. That's readily available for anyone who's set up an account. And as we've shared some key insights. Business domains are super important when applying for Activate credits. Avoid Gmail or personal emails and making sure that all the details match. As I mentioned earlier, like when creating an account, you don't want to have differing pieces of information. Also, founders credits are great if you're bootstrapped and you're self-funded. If you are funded, there are actually credit applications or you could say processes through Portfolio Activate, which kind of give you the path to a higher batch of credits, and so that's also something that we can help work on through our resale program, is we can leverage our relationship with AWS to grab some of those additional credits, but there's other programs as well through VCs and accelerators that can get you those credits if you're funded, for example.
Julian, sorry to bother you. Noor is having a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Hello, hi everybody.
Hi.
Hey.
I just want to ask one more time about the $1,000 activity. So last week I had applied for it and they refused it. So what's the possibility to reapply for it?
Okay, I think I can pick up on this one. I guess you didn't receive any reasons from AWS why your application was rejected, right?
Yeah, somehow they say that you are not qualified to take this activity.
Okay, first of all, I would go back and check if all the details provided to AWS are in line with what we've discussed earlier, if all the names are matching, okay? Obviously, if your entity is less than 10 years old, okay, you have this website live, okay. If you're pretty sure that all of them are done correctly, okay, AWS is having a dedicated Activate team where you can reach and ask for more details onto why your application was rejected. Okay, and most of the times they do come back to you and guide you on how to rectify that. Okay, and then you can reapply. If you just give me 1 second, I should be able to find this hyperlink for you, and I'll put it in chat. All right. So if that's everything from you, Hasnu, Julian can.
Had I to reapply it for the same name and same account number, or I had to change it?
No. You can reapply for the same entity, same company, same AWS account. You don't need to change that. If you are sure, obviously, that everything matches the AWS criteria.
Okay, yeah? So I had to contact them, and after that, reapply one more time.
Yeah, contact them, asks for more details onto why your application was rejected. You get a reply from them, and then reapply.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
Thanks for the questions. Yeah, the credits questions comes up a lot. But we're more than happy to work with you on trying to find those reasons why there was rejections. And I don't think I need to add anything more. But just to really stress the requirements, company and entity cannot be older than 10 years. So it's if you've got an account, if you've got a company that's 12 years old, but you just created an AWS account 2 weeks ago, it still means that you're falling outside of those credit application requirements. So it's really important to understand that. And you also shouldn't have received more credits previously. Like if you've received $1,000 previously, you wouldn't be entitled to the Activate Founders. You would need to go to the next step up, which is 5 or 10K in credits. But again, if you've been funded, you can maybe get access to up to 100K, sometimes even more. And for those that are funded, no later than Series A. So up to Series A funding, and you can are entitled to those credits. And one that's always one that sometimes trips people up, you need to have a fully functioning public website that AWS can basically look at and see. So these are some of the really important pointers. Vali, I think it seems like you want something to add.
Is having a question as well. Lasha?
Yeah, please
Yeah,
go ahead,
hello
Lasha.
guys. I have one question. As we are talking already on credits, I have a quick question, and I would be happy if I will receive answer on it. So I already acquired 1,000 USD credit, which I have used for testing different services, for searching best tech for my application that I'm going to release. Not release like we are developing it, but we decided to fully use the AWS and fully depend on it. And I'm interested on another path, this portfolio tier. So I noticed that I need organization ID to apply there. So my question is, how can I acquire this? Where can I get this organization ID if I'm not funded? We are small studio. I'm the founder of the small studio, and we are self-funded. So in that case, what are the ways to apply for portfolio tier? Thank you.
No worries. Thank you, Lasha, for this. The next step, Julian, I don't know if you can switch to the portfolio tier of credits. What the next step, apart from the founders, is the portfolio tier, as you said, and this you need to be in contact with a VC accelerator. Okay, they are the ones that can provide their organization ID. Okay, and using that ID based on the conversation you have with them, and on the level they can provide, I don't know, 25, 100K, whatever the discussion between you and them is, you use this organization ID and you redeem the credits, all right? So this is how you need to obtain that magic organization ID number from a VC or accelerator. Now, we have quite a lot of customers who are receiving credits from different VCs accelerators, okay? They are obviously AWS affiliated already regarding credits. So if you will be joining Cloudvisor, I don't know, in the nearest future, we can provide you a list with VCs accelerators that we know that are helping some of our customers already. And then you can browse through them, see which one might match your product, and get in contact with them and see if they can help you or not. Okay?
Yeah, that will be great. Thank you.
Cool.
Awesome. Of course, we'll have further time for questions later. So just to move on, so we're not bogged down or anything. Just as a final step regarding how to get set up, these are some of the key services that we observe as a partner with AWS users. So we have something like EC2, which is a virtual server that powers your infrastructure, RDS, which is your database, S3, which is a storage bucket or various storage buckets, and CloudFront, which is content delivery, distribution network, which enables you to, at low latency, enable access to your content, whether it's video or your website, but at a very low latency. And we have, as a resale partner, we have a very, very strong discount on CloudFront. If this is something you use or would like to use, this is a discount that we are very favorable in offering. And then, of course, new services, OpenSearch, SageMaker, Bedrock, with a huge GenAI focus. And so, of course, this is your time. If you are setting something up, you can use your free tier access to start testing, to start seeing what's relevant. And of course, we're available for any other follow-up meetings and discussions. But I'll hand this over to Robertas now. He'll just quickly go through, what it means to join Cloudvisor. We'll be really brief. And of course, we're happy to continue to answer questions, but I'll give Robertas the floor.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Let's just switch to the next slide if possible. And I'll just introduce us and how you can join us. Yes, so yeah, we are authorized reseller of AWS. So reselling AWS means that when you join us, you are switching billing to us, and we are billing you in a way that we can see what kind of services you're using, how much you have to pay for those services, and we are sending you an invoice, and you have to pay for the services that you use on AWS through us. So it's a consolidated billing organization, so you don't need to worry that we can change something in your infrastructure. So we can only see what kind of services you're using and how much you're paying for those services. And when you join us, you're getting not only the discounts, you're getting support, you're getting access to these Q&A sessions. So any questions you have about credits, as for example, Denzel has some questions, so you can always ask our support team. They're really fast to answer your questions. So usually they answer the questions in less than 2 hours. And we are focusing on startups. So we received a lot of questions in past 10 years almost. So we have a huge database of questions and answers. So that's why we can answer the questions really fast. But of course, you can still use AWS support if you want. So Julian, can you jump to the next slide, please?
Sorry, I thought I gave you access. I'll move.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So we have a tiering system. So when you join us, we look at your spending, so what you're spending on a monthly basis, and then we assign you to a specific tier. So in the beginning, there are most of the benefits. As I mentioned, we are dealing with startups mostly. We're helping you to scale on AWS and understand how it works. So in the beginning, you're getting most of those benefits that we can offer. So you would get first-line support. 3% discount on all the services that you are using, 50% discount on CloudFront services. Also, you can reach up to 90% discount, but it depends on your traffic. Also, we can provide you cost optimization reviews, well-architected framework reviews, and monthly usage reports. When you will scale a bit on AWS and when you start using more of it, so after 1,000 a month of spending on AWS, you will get a dedicated person from our team as a support manager. For example, Valentin is one of those people. Also, biannual architectural stride sessions. So basically, it's an additional proactive support that we prepare before it. We'll try to align your business to what you are doing on AWS, and we'll try to proactively support you. After 3K a month, it's a third tier. So we can provide you an infrastructure monitoring dashboard that our engineers would prepare for you for free, and it would be alerting you on data spikes, cost spikes, and everything what you have on AWS through Slack or through email. And the fourth tier, so when you're spending more than 10,000, we can provide you 10% discount on an optimized EC2 consumption. Yeah, also we have a big team of engineers. They're senior level DevOps engineers. Everyone is certified on AWS. We have solutions architects, professionals, and you can really trust their competency. We are also an Advanced Tier AWS partner, so we have proven ourselves to AWS as a partner who you can trust. So we can help you with everything from migrations from other clouds, migrations from on-premises, also AI, ML, data analytics, integration into your infrastructure. We can even help with application development. So if you have an idea, if you have a documentation of your application, we can help you to put it on AWS. And we always try to minimize the cost of the projects, because engineering services are already not free services, they're paid services. So we are part of these programs that can fund the project partially. So POC, so it can provide money to us for you to pay less for the project. Also, IV Migrate, it's a really good program for startups if they're migrating from one cloud to another. So it provides you credits and it provides us money to help you do the migration. So the next steps. So basically, it is really simple. After the call, we will send you all the information, what we've mentioned. So you will get this presentation. Also, you can, if you're interested to join the resale program, you can book a free consultation with us to go again through all the details, how it works, and how to join us properly. And after that, after the call, we will send you all of the details, and you can fill in the form that will be after the consultation. You will fill in the form, and then we will get in contact again and explain how to onboard us correctly. So there is no commitment to join our services. So you can do it today, tomorrow, or next week. And we're not holding your hand. You can leave us at any time. And there is no commitment for you to stay with us for a year or two. Yeah, let's move on to the questions. Maybe you have some.
Rob, I will just read through the questions because we have some that have been submitted. So I'll just read through them, and if that's okay, and then we'll go through ones that people are asking. So yeah. So the first question. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Wonderful. So first question is how to make a successful application for AWS Activate. We have applied a few times, but rejected with little information as to why.
Yeah, I think we kind of touched upon this already. I don't know if that was submitted by Hasnu or not, but yeah, this AWS is kind of strict when you make your application. So as long as, or we're talking about the first tier, the founders tier, everything needs to be aligned, as I said previously, in terms of details. And then the other criteria should match. As I said, the entity to be less than 10 years old, active website, self-funded. Yeah. So as long as they do match, I can't see too many reasons into why your application is being denied. However, yeah, as I said, AWS Activate are having a dedicated team just for this, and they can look into it and advise on to where your application went wrong.
There was something that Vali said to me the other day, and that is the first application is going through a machine, right? So you basically, if you're not automatically fulfilling those prerequisites, and there's no and there's no continuity in the details shared, it will just be rejected. So that's something to really pay attention to.
Yeah.
And next question. I'd like to understand better how a startup like us can use AWS ecosystem to scale up. Let me just see. I don't know who sent that. Is someone here? I can check who sent that, but does anyone know if that's their question? We'll just check the name. Maybe it's someone we know. Okay, it seems like this person's not here. Or maybe come back to this to give more context. But the next question would be, what would be the most suitable cloud infrastructure for a startup building a mobile application, considering factors such as scalability, cost, and efficiency?
Yes, I think I can jump in here.
Thanks,
it's more of a technical question. So I would say for a startup to start building a mobile application, or even like a startup that is still in early stage to build something on AWS, I would highly recommend going serverless. Because serverless, like AWS, manages most of the infrastructure for you, and also it's very scalable, and it automatically scales from 0 if there is no traffic, and it keeps scaling up if you get more traffic. So serverless would be the approach that I recommend for MVP, or even you can go production with serverless. Also, I would recommend using AWS managed services, like something like RDS, where AWS manages the infrastructure for you, and you only focus on the application development or the code development. For example, RDS, it's a relational database service. So AWS manages the infrastructure for you. You only have to choose which database engine. For example, you go to SQL version 16, and it's going to launch the instance for you and manage everything for you. You don't need to worry about that. So there's also AWS Amplify. This may be a bit related to mobile applications, where you only focus on the mobile application code, and you can think of Amplify as your co-pilot. So AWS is going to manage the creation of the infrastructure for you automatically in the background. This is for AWS Amplify.
Okay, great, thanks. So that's question 4 you covered, Noor, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So next questions are covering a few broad topics. One with AI/ML. What's the best AWS setup for fine-tuning or hosting large language models, e.g. SageMaker, Jumpstart, Bedrock, or custom training on EC2? You're muted, no, just to let you know.
Yeah, sorry, I dropped out of the call and I'm back now. So I would say, what's the AWS setup for fine-tuning or hosting LLMs, SageMaker, Jumpstart, Bedrock, or custom training on EC2? So these are 3, I would say, like 2 different services for the AI services on AWS. We have Bedrock, which is more of a SaaS or ready-to-use service with AI foundational models that you can connect to them through APIs. It has less fine-tuning. Again, you can fine-tune on Bedrock, but not for all the models. But I would say that you can use the knowledge bases on Amazon Bedrock to enhance your results. But with SageMaker, this is where you have more control and fine-tuning, where you can train the LLM models on your data. This is for SageMaker. And SageMaker, it provides you, I would say AWS provide you with an environment that can help you to train data, use LLM. It's more of a ready environment for training data on LLM models. Custom training on EC2, I would say this is like if you really need to control everything yourself and make sure everything is customized, EC2, but it will bring a lot of overhead management for the infrastructure. So I would say like SageMaker is the same like custom training on EC2, but SageMaker is a ready environment that is ready to use for AI training and running training jobs.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is depends on what you're actually looking for. It impacts how you would fine tune and what service you would use.
Yes, and it depends on the use case as well. So in some use cases, you can directly go and use the ready models like Anthropic, like Cloud Sonnet, and you don't need really to train your data on these models. And some other use cases where you need to do like training jobs for these LLM models. So I would then recommend going for SageMaker. It really depends on the use case.
Yeah, so then we have, can we fine tune open source models like Lambda 3, Mistral, and on SageMaker using proprietary data?
Yes, so if you have the training data ready, you can enhance this data or clean it or do some data pre-processing and then trigger some training jobs on these open source models on SageMaker. So this is totally doable on SageMaker.
And what's the cost optimization strategy for training and serving LLMs on AWS?
Okay. It differs from Bedrock. You can choose the model that is a best fit for your use case, and also each model has its own pricing. You can navigate through this through the AWS documentation or AWS pricing calculator for an estimate, because each model has its own pricing based on the tokens, the context window, and everything. This is for Bedrock. For SageMaker, I would say you can optimize the cost by using something like on-spot instances, which gives you a huge discount on the compute workload. Because on SageMaker, when you do trigger training jobs or you're going to deploy a model or do the inference, you're going to use GPU instances. And the default pricing for the GPU instance will be the on-demand or the pay-as-you-go. But you can make sure that this is more cost optimized by using on-spot instances, which is going to give you a discount on the compute workload or the GPU instance that you are running. And of course, not to keep the training instances running 24/7, just to trigger the instance or launch the instance once you're doing the training.
And we can help, just to ask Rob to join, or maybe you can help Noor answer this question. Like, we're helping clients with cost optimization on AI workloads.
Yes, we can help them achieve that through like onboarding them to like using the spot instances, giving some tips and tricks of not keeping the GPU instances running 24/7. You can just use them when you really need them or when you're triggering a training job for in SageMaker.
Okay. And do we offer credits or free tiers on AI workloads or GPUs?
I think Robertas, can you answer this? But I think it's covered by the POC and incremental workload programs, if I get this correctly.
So no direct credits for the usage of AI, but there are programs that could cover our work or partially cover our work for what we do, basically. So AWS would pay us, so it wouldn't be like direct credits, but they would pay us to do that.
Okay, but not on any usage, just simply on any sort of projects if we were to help them, for example.
Yes, basically on our hands-on work.
Okay. Infrastructure and architecture. Can you help us design scalable architecture for Sololog Cloud? Yeah, I think it sounds like their own company, Cloud.
Yeah, for a multi-tenant SaaS, yes, we can definitely help in that. We go through I would say the default process where we do like a pre-sale technical call to gather all the data, and then we provide like a presentation with a statement of work, architecture diagram, and an estimate monthly spending of the infrastructure. But yeah, we can definitely design this architecture for multi-tenant specifically.
Nice. And what's the best setup for microservices, event queues, and AI pipelines with ECS and Fargate, Lambda, and there? But I'm sure he'll be coming back.
While he will be rejoining, I can answer the question in the comments about AI/ML things and the quotas for GPU instances. So it's a problem in every cloud. It's not only AWS. And right now, everyone wants to deploy a lot of GPU instances without having any like actual history with AWS. So AWS cannot allow everyone to use, I don't know, 10 huge GPU instances without the history of that customer billing on AWS, about proof that the company is able to bill for such GPU instances. So I think next year it will be a bit easier to get the quotas, but now, yes, everyone is dealing with this problem. Every cloud, it's not an exception that AWS does that. But after some time, when you will stay on AWS for a bit longer, then it will be easier for you to get the quotas. But when you join it for the first month, everyone is facing this issue.
I even have a couple of customers who they've been on AWS for a couple of years already, but now they are switching to AI and stuff, and they face the same issues. So even if they've been for quite a long time issue with AWS, because they haven't used these sort of services before, and they want to take advantage of them extensionally, shall we call it, then they face the same issue.
Great. I lost back slightly where the questions we're looking at, but maybe we can wait for Noor to come back and we can answer these remaining. Hi, Noor.
My
Wonderful.
phone keeps crashing.
It's okay, it happens.
But yeah, I think I was answering the question number 6 about the best for microservices. I would say that I personally recommend using ECS. It's a dedicated service in AWS for running containerized workload or Docker workload. EKS is still an option, but it requires really like Kubernetes experience and developers that know how to deal with the Kubernetes cluster and everything. So it needs a lot of time and effort or resources to maintain the Kubernetes cluster. Although the ECS is again running containers and Dockers, and it's like an easy service to deal with, less complex than EKS, and would require less resources and less time for maintenance. And of course, Lambda can be recommended as well for microservices, as it's more of a serverless service. But I would say the best setup it depends, of course, on the resources and the use case. But for Dockerized workload, I would recommend ECS, Fargate running serverless, and some Lambda functions as well as serverless event-driven architecture.
And how can we integrate our existing K3's base setup with AWS infrastructure?
It really depends on that. Like I would require like more info, more details about this K3 setup. But of course, everything can be integrated with AWS infrastructure, or can even be migrated or moved to be hosted on the AWS. But for this one, I would require like more details. Not sure if the person who asked the question can provide some more details on this question.
Okay, and I think I've lost audio here a bit, but I think these are the next questions that Vali can cover.
Would be good to unmute me. Yeah. What AWS Activate credits or startup programs can we access through Cloudvisor? We are not an Activate credits provider per se. Okay, so we can't give you direct access to any programs. But if you, as I was saying earlier, reach out to any VCs, investors, accelerators, things like this, then obviously you can use your credits on your solution, on your deployments without a problem. Second one, can you assist with grant applications or investors' readiness? With grant applications per se, we will not be able to assist because obviously you will have to do the application yourself and you will know all the details. However, with tech architecture review and cost projections, the answer to this is yes, we can help you with this without a problem. And
we can help with the readiness of it. We can help them prepare.
Yeah. And mentorship or introductions to AWS Investors Network. As I was saying earlier, yes, we do have already a list with VCs, investors that are currently helping some of our other customers. So we can give you access to this list once you join us, but we don't have direct links per se with them. Okay, so we provide you this list. We can fine-tune it a little bit based on region if needed to, but then it will be your job to get in contact with the one that you think will match your profile and see if they are happy to help you or not. Okay.
Awesome. And regarding compliance and data, how can we store and process sensitive user data securely with GDPR in mind? I think, Noor, that might be a question for you.
Yes, so usually we try to encrypt data at rest and in transit. And also it depends if there's any regulations to keep the data in specific regions. So AWS provide regions around the globe where we can choose the right region for us to store the data. And also usually we keep data in like private networks or private subnets that are not accessible through the public internet. And of course we keep them encrypted and secure. We set some alarms and monitoring on the data as well.
And what are best practices for AI model data governance on AWS?
Yes, so it depends if you're training the model on your own data. So this means that everything happens within your own account and you're not sharing this data with any third parties. So everything is hosted in your account, the model and the training data that we're going to use. And in case of Bedrock, you're going to use knowledge base, which is, again, everything is within your account. I would say these are the best practices for handling AI model data.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So I think that's the end of our submitted questions. The floor is now open. If you have any questions, please jump on the line and open your mic. We'll be more than happy to hear some questions, if there are any.
Julian, there is one in chat. I don't know if Noor saw that. I have a Kiro that is orchestrating Bedrock to be the orchestrator of more LLM agents. Is there any specific configuration which is essential to consider that has to be activated to make more Bedrock will remain under control? Noor, I don't know if you've seen this in chat.
Nope. Can you paste it again in the chat? So
it was sent at 12:37. So can you scroll up? Can you see the chat?
I think because I dropped off and joined again. So
okay, let me copy and paste it once again for you. There you go.
This would be helpful. Yeah. Is there any specific configuration? Yes, I'm not sure if you're here by Q. Do you mean like the new IDE, like Visual Studio Code, or not? But for making sure that the Bedrock will remain under control, there are some configurations like guardrails, where you can set some guardrails for your LLM model or AI agent to answer questions in specific contexts. Make sure that they only answer questions related to specific topics. This I would say, and also of course the system prompt or the user, the system instructions that you give for the LLM agents, as well, to have like specific instructions of what exactly the agent should do as a task. I would say these are the main things to make sure that your LLM model doesn't hallucinate or be under control.
Thanks, Noor. Of course, if you have any follow-up questions, we're more than happy to answer them via email. I'll let Matt back respond.
Yeah, there's a follow-up question regarding the guarding tool. So guardrails, it's a configuration or a feature in Amazon Bedrock. So you have to, if you go to the Amazon Bedrock console, you're going to find guardrails on the side where you can configure your guardrails or add the guardrails or the instructions for this. Welcome.
It feels like the 54 minutes has gone quickly. I hope it has, at least for me. I hope it has for you. If there are no more questions, then we can maybe call it a day. But we'll be sending over these materials, sending over the recording as well. And yes, if you have follow-up questions, we'll be more than happy to answer them. You'll be receiving an email from us, and so you can just respond accordingly. I think my email is attached to this course, so you can reach out to me. Not a problem. But if there are no other questions, I think we can say goodbye. Just one last call. Are there any other questions, or is that it for today?
Rob, I have posted a question or two to you, but I will get in touch with you with the ongoing correspondence.
Sure. Thanks, Denzel. So really appreciate all of your time today. I hope it was helpful and useful. We really look forward to hearing from you. Maybe one day we'll see you as resale or clients of ours that we can help you scale on AWS. But if not, have a great day and yeah, all the best for the weekend.
Thank you, Valentin. I'll get in touch with you too.
Please, Denzel. No worries.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.